Hi, Del Lago Academy, class of 2021 scholars and families. My name is Lauren Dobbs, and I'm one of the school counselors here at Del Lago, and this is our senior parent meeting presentation. So here at Del Lago, we have two school counselors, myself, Lauren Dobbs, and Mr. Ramirez. So I'm assigned to students whose last names are from A to LI, and Mr. Ramirez works with students whose last names are from LJ to Z. So here at Del Lago, we are the two main people who will be helping your students complete their college applications, complete their financial aid applications, and just in general make their plans for after high school. So you can see our email addresses and phone numbers are listed on this screen. Please feel free to save that information and contact us with any questions or concerns you might have. So prior to school starting at the end of August, myself and Mr. Ramirez met individually with each of the seniors on our part of the alphabet. And during these meetings, we reviewed each senior's progress towards graduation. If for some reason the student was not on track to graduate this spring, we talked to them about ways to make up courses or add additional courses to their schedule for senior year so that they would be able to graduate this spring. We also reviewed each student's progress towards meeting the A to G requirements. So this is really our goal for all of our students, not only that they're meeting the graduation requirements, but that they're also meeting the A to G requirements. And these are the courses that high school students need to take and earn a C or better in order to be eligible to attend or to apply to UC or CSU schools. But overall, these are the courses that it's really great to have in high school. They are going to prepare our students for whatever they decide to do after high school, but in particular for any type of college or university path that they decide to pursue. And just overall, we discussed each student's plans for after high school. So if that includes going to a 2-year college, 4-year college, enrolling in a trade program, or pursuing a career in the military, we discussed those plans with each student. So during senior year, dates and deadlines are extremely important. So some of the things we're going to cover in this presentation are first, ACT and SAT tests. Second, submitting college applications. Third, applying for financial aid. Fourth, completing scholarship applications. And then we'll talk a little bit about May 1st and the importance of that day. So May 1st is the deadline if you are planning on attending a 4-year college or university. That is the deadline for paying any deposits or enrollment fees to hold your spot for the fall semester. So students who are planning to attend 4-year colleges or universities next fall need to make a decision on which school they're going to attend by May 1st. So this year's a little different when it comes to ACT and SAT tests. Normally, we encourage all of our juniors, spring of junior year, fall of senior year, to take the ACT and SAT. However, this year, with COVID, things are a little different. So overall, if you're planning on attending a 2-year college, such as Palomar College, Miracosta College, or another 2-year college, ACT and SAT tests are not required. This year, due to COVID, many four-year colleges and universities have also suspended the use of the ACT and SAT in their admissions. So, in particular, the California State University system, so the CSU schools, and the University of California, the UC schools, for students applying for admission for the fall of 2021 are not required to submit ACT and SAT test scores. And we've received a lot of questions about this, students wondering, well, if I have the opportunity, should I still take an ACT or SAT? And there may be some schools, maybe in other parts of the country, that are still looking at ACT and SAT test scores, but the majority of schools throughout the country are not going to be requiring an ACT or an SAT test score this year because so many of those test dates have been canceled. So we've been telling students, if for some reason you are still able to take an ACT or SAT, if you can find a testing center that's open, that's fine. You're welcome to take these tests. But for the majority of colleges and universities, you will not need these tests for this round of applications. And they have informed us that you will not be penalized at all in the application process if you do not have an ACT or SAT test score. So for two-year college applications in the state of California, there's a program called the California Promise Program. And this is a program for students who are graduating from California high schools. They can apply to attend a two-year college for up to 2 years and not have to pay for tuition. So at Palomar College, because that is the two-year college that the majority of our students, if they're planning on going to a two-year college, decide to attend, this program is called the Palomar Promise Program. And it includes free tuition for up to 2 years, plus textbook assistance, and I believe students also receive some help paying for a parking permit. So this applies to any first-time college students who are residents of California. One of the requirements for the Promise program is students do have to complete a financial aid application. So either the FAFSA or the California Dream Act application. And in just a few minutes, we're going to talk more about those applications. And then students must be enrolled full-time, so they need to be taking at least 12 credits each semester and maintain a 2.0 GPA. But if they do those things, they will receive free tuition for those first 2 years of college. So last year, this application became available in November. And we're anticipating that this application will be available in November again this year, although we don't know yet exactly when it is going to be available. But if you want more information about this program, you can definitely check out the website that I have listed on this slide. And just know that myself and Mr. Ramirez, when we receive information about the application being open, we will definitely be sharing that with our senior scholars. One thing I will say about the Palomar Promise program is it is a very popular program, and so last year most of our students applied for the program in the fall or early spring. But there were a few students who were planning on going to a four-year college or university, and then maybe things didn't work out, and early in the summer decided that instead of going to the four-year college, they wanted to stay at home and go to Palomar for their first 2 years. And by that time, the Promise program had accepted all of the students that it could, and so it was already at capacity. And so those students still applied for it, but we're put on a wait list. And so we're not guaranteed that free tuition for those first 2 years. So if your student is at all considering going to a 2-year college in California, I highly, highly, highly encourage them to apply for the Promise program early. If they end up not going to the 2-year college and maybe going to a 4-year college instead, that's totally fine. But we just don't want it to be where they plan on going to a 4-year school and then, things change and then they aren't able to receive those first 2 years of tuition for free. So for 4-year college applications, deadlines are really, really important. Every year we have students that miss out on housing opportunities or scholarship opportunities, or even acceptances to certain schools because they miss deadlines. So for the University of California application, the UC application, it's nice because there's one application that can be used to apply to all 9 UC campuses. The website is listed right there. It's apply.universityofcalifornia.edu. And this application did open on August 1st, so students can go to that website at any time, create their account, and start working on their UC application. However, it cannot be submitted until November 1st. So between November 1st and November 30th, students will be able to submit that UC application. For the CSU, so the Cal State University application, it's very similar. There's one application that can be used to apply to all 23 CSU campuses. The website for that application is calstate.edu/apply. And this application opens on October 1st, and then students can submit the CSU application anytime between October 1st and December 4th. Normally, the CSU application is also due on November 30th, but this year, because of the way Thanksgiving fell on the calendar, they are extending that deadline to December 4th. However, we really encourage all of our students to not wait till those last days to submit their application. In the past, there have been some technical glitches that happen for students who wait to the last minute to submit those applications. And so we highly, highly, highly encourage our students to submit them at least, maybe a day or two before those deadlines. So then for private schools and out-of-state schools, they all have varying deadlines. So it is really, really, really important that no matter where your student is planning on applying, that they're paying attention to those deadlines and making sure they're not missing any important dates. So we do really encourage all of our students to have either myself or Mr. Ramirez look over their college applications before they submit them. The way our classes are structured here at Del Lago, for some applications, it can be a little confusing. We have some classes, although they only meet for a semester. So for example, our Spanish 1 and our Spanish 2 classes, they actually count as a full year worth of high school credit. So we know that that can be a little confusing for our students. So we provide them with lots of support when they're working on their college applications. So this is when our virtual drop-in office hours are going to be this fall. Normally we offer workshops on campus. However, this year is a little bit different. And so what our plan is we're currently working on creating videos that walk students through the process of each one of these applications. So for example, you can see first is our UC or University of California application. So We have a video that walks students through every step of that application, and we're going to be releasing that. And then on October 6th, 7th, and 8th, we will have open virtual drop-in office hours. So students can watch that video, work on their UC application, and then if they have any questions or concerns about it, they can drop into any of those virtual office hours and ask those specific questions. So the same thing is going to happen for the CSU application. Those office hours will be October 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then we'll be focusing on the common application. So many colleges and universities that are outside of the UC or the CSU system use the common application. And so again, we'll be creating a video to walk students through the process of setting up their common application and then having those drop-in office hours on October 20th, 21st, and 22nd to answer any specific questions that students have. We'll be having personal essay writing workshops on October 27th, 28th, and 29th. And then in November, we will be focusing on workforce or vocational trade careers. So those drop-in office hours will be November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll be talking with students about scholarships on November 10th, 11th, and 12th. Military careers on November 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then we'll have drop-in support for students filling out their financial aid application, so their FAFSA or their California DREAM Act application on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we've talked about we've talked about ACT and SAT, college applications, now financial aid. So all students, regardless of financial need, should fill out either the free application for federal student aid, so the FAFSA, or the California DREAM Act application. So every year we have students who say, oh, my parents make too much money, I'm not going to receive any financial aid awards, and we always encourage students to apply. Some colleges now are requiring that students have submitted a financial aid application even to receive merit-based scholarships. So scholarships not based on financial need, but based on grades or other achievements outside of school. And so we really encourage all of our students to submit either a FAFSA or a California DREAM Act application. So both of these applications open up on October 1st. And for students who are U.S. citizens or permanent residents, eligible non-citizens or T visa holders, they will be filling out the FAFSA. And for students who are undocumented, have a valid or expired DACA, are U visa holders, or have temporary protected status, they will fill out the California DREAM Act application. So with the FAFSA, students will be eligible for financial aid through both the federal government and the state government. And through the California DREAM Act application, students will not be eligible for financial aid through the federal government, but they will be eligible for financial aid through the state government. So again, it's super important to fill out this application. It does require lots of information from parents, including your 2019 tax return information. And so this is something that students and families need to work on together. So again, these applications opened up on October 1st and they are due by March 2nd. However, we always encourage students to turn these in sooner rather than later. The nice thing about turning them in early is that then hopefully when you receive your acceptance from a school, you'll automatically receive whatever type of financial aid they're offering you as well. If you turn it in later, that process may be delayed a bit, and then it becomes a little harder when you're trying to make that decision on which school is going to be the best choice for you financially. So they're open from October 1st through March 2nd, but we do encourage students to have their financial aid application turned in earlier rather than waiting till that March 2nd deadline. So just like college appointments, we're going to be having some virtual appointments to help students and families fill out their financial aid application. So first of all, on October 2nd, so on Friday, myself and Mr. Ramirez, in this slide it says we'll be meeting, but at this point when you're watching this video, we will have already met with all of our seniors during their humanities class to create their FSA ID. So this is the first step in the financial aid process. This FSA ID serves as their electronic signature. So once they fill out their FAFSA, they will be able to sign it electronically using this FSA ID. So then on October 13th, that's a Tuesday in the evening from 4 to 7 p.m. And then again on October 17th, which is a Saturday from 9 to 12 p.m., we will be offering virtual appointments for any families that have questions about their financial aid application. So we'll be releasing some resources and some videos that will walk you through the process of filling out either your FAFSA or California DREAM Act application. And then if you have any specific questions, you can make an appointment with either myself or Mr. Ramirez on October 13th from 4 to 7 p.m. or on October 17th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And more information will be coming regarding the way to set up those appointments. So just in general, these are some things that you do need to complete your financial aid application. So these are some documents that it might be helpful to start getting together now. Scholar and parent social security numbers or permanent resident numbers, if applicable. So again, students do not have to be a U.S. citizen to apply for financial aid. Also, date of birth of both scholar and parents. And then this is one that a lot of times students get stuck on, but parents' marital status and the date that they either got married or if parents are separated. The date of that as well is needed on the financial aid applications. Then lots of financial information. So scholar and parents 2019 W-2s, scholar and parents 2019 tax returns, and then scholar and parent asset information. So information about balances in bank accounts, any additional maybe like rental properties that you might own, and money in brokerage accounts. So all of that information is going to be needed for filling out your financial aid application. So we kind of moved in order of when students are working on things. So first, in a normal school year, students would be focusing on taking their ACT and SAT, then they'd be working on their college apps, then they'd be working on their financial aid application, and then for many scholars, after that is when they start looking into scholarships. So scholarships, there are tons of scholarships out there. These are all scholarships that students can apply for in addition to any financial aid they might receive. So these come from private corporations, organizations, businesses, and a really great place to start when looking for scholarships is our Del Lago Scholarship Center. So I have the website listed here. Students can go to that website. There are lots of resources regarding scholarships. The San Diego Foundation is a really great scholarship portal. Also, FastWeb has lots of scholarships. So all of that information is in our Del Lago Scholarship Center, along with tons and tons of individual scholarships that are listed there. So please, please, please check that out. This is all just extra money that your students can apply for to help them fund their higher education. So thank you so much for joining us for this virtual event. Again, I am Mrs. Dobbs. My contact information is listed there, and Mr. Ramirez is our other school counselor. His contact information is also listed, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions regarding college, career, financial aid, scholarships, any of that. We're happy to help, and we're really excited to be working with the class of 2021 this year. So thank you so much, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Bye.